Hi, welcome to my eclectic channel. My name is Agnès and I make videos for fun. We've been working on one of those little numbers. The vest is done, except for the buttons and the buttonholes. I did go into this project entirely incapable of sewing a clean buttonhole. But they recommend practicing on whatever fabric you're working on anyway, so I did. It took me 3 trials, only 3. I don't know why I waited so long to practice my buttonholes. So I put together lining, my fashion fabric, and then I do have some interfacing on my vest. I was expecting to have to make many more than this, and I didn't want to waste my fusible interfacing on that. So instead I used a dryer sheet, a spent dryer sheet. I'm saving them. I have a bunch of them. They're useful for sewing. And I put it between the lining and the fashion fabric, and then I worked, I baste stitched in place. So I had a canvas. If you're wondering about the thread, different colors, it helps to have contrasting, and then I was kind of running out of the thread that I've been using for this project. So again, I didn't want to waste my thread there. So yeah, so it's not just practicing with the buttons, but also the best marking technique. My sewing machine comes with a button sewing plate, which is really handy, but it's got its quirks. I mean, the machine and this presser foot taken together have their quirks. So something I found out on my first buttonhole is the fact that the feeding is not, the speed of the feeding is not regular if I let it go on its own, especially on the back feeding. So I had some accumulation of stitches right there as this was back feeding into the machine to stitch the sides of the buttonhole. So I improved that in the further iterations. And then there was the marking. The tailor's chalk does come off in the wash, but it's really, I didn't like what I did on the top too. So then I thought maybe I should use pen, and then when I cut it, it would go away, but it doesn't, it's visible. So I'm not going to be using a pen, I'll be using tailor's chalk, but I found out I don't need to make those really obvious horizontal lines top and bottom of the buttonholes. And then the last thing that I practiced was the best technique to cut once the buttonhole is stitched. And here I've seen people say that a razor blade works better than a seam ripper, but I did not. I have razor blades, but I would have to find them, and I'm clumsy. I'm gonna cut myself. Like, this is just a given. So I tried something a little safer, which is a cutter. It's got razor blades, and those are fairly new blades. So I thought it'd be really sharp and be able to do the job, but nah, my seam ripper did do the job the best in the end. So that's what I'll be doing. So now I have to place 4 buttons on my vest. I did a fitting simply to determine where to put the top button and the bottom button, and I got 4 buttons to place. And then I did move them around just a tad bit so that I would have a number that is easy to divide by 3, and that's 24 centimeters, so I can place buttons every 8 centimeters. So I'm going to add pins on one at 8 and one at 16. So let's test drive this, see how it's going to look like. So we'll have a button here, here, and here. It's pretty good. The buttonholes go on this side. I double checked. I also know because that's where I have the interfacing. So I need to line these up really well, which they are now, and I am going to mark with the chalk the placement. And here I need to transfer the buttons over here to see how far I want them from the edge. And this looks about right. So that's where it needs to be. In the end, for accuracy, I had to make those big tick marks. Otherwise, I just would not exactly know where to start and stop, and my buttonholes would not be the right size. So hopefully all of that blue chalk is going to come off at the wash. And we're done. If you're a keen observer, you will see in the reveal that the vest has 3 buttons instead of 4. I decided that I wanted a deeper V in the front, and it wasn't too difficult to recut and restyle the vest accordingly. My favorite way to wear the vest is on its own. I'll let you decide. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Now for the reveal.